Okay, so this is a serious question, and I'm thinking, should menstrual pad receptacles be placed inside of men's bathrooms? Now, this is a serious question because the issue of bloodborne pathogens is always brought up and sanitary ways to dispose of it. And I know there's a hazmat and biohazardous chemicals within hospitals, and they have special receptacles for people to get rid of their diabetes needles and things like that. That's why I'm asking this question. And so I'm going to ask it in the ways, should menstrual cycle pad disposal, it's an additional extra garbage can inside of the stall, inside of the toilet. And so there could be a man who has a young daughter as young as 9 years old who has a menstrual cycle. And I know this stuff makes men, oh my gosh, it makes them feel very uncomfortable to talk about it. And I can just tell, when they talk about little girls, and a lot of them feel very, very, very squeamish, and, because they're thinking the worst, and they're like, they don't want to be seen as a pervert. I get it. I get it. For women, this stuff is normal because we have to deal with it, with our daughters having menstrual cycles and having done it ourselves. We deal with some of the nastiest of nasty when it comes poop and pee, changing a baby's diaper. So it's just second nature. And I know those of you men who have never had any kids at all, you don't have any insight other than maybe babysitting someone's kid every once in a while or something. But unless you do it 24/7 for several years, well, for most parents, it's the whole life of their kids, and even the dads, who they get kind of used to it too. The dads who have raised kids, they're not as they're not as squeamish related to talking about these things. I know my first husband, he would go buy menstrual cycle pads for me and tampons and things, and he wasn't concerned about it. But see, this other thing is a serious issue of where do you dispose of the needles for people? Because now my second husband, he said when we went cruising, he would just flush them down the toilet. His needles, his sticker needles, when he took his blood sugar. And so they always had sticker needles that you stick with your finger to take your blood sugar levels. And so he said he would just flush them down the toilet, even though the hospital, he had a collection of the needles because the hospital gave him this tub to save all the needles in. But when you go to a hotel or any place else, there's no receptacle for the needles at all, the sticker needles.